Voice log. The first day of the outbreak. I'm not even sure what to call it. Pandemic, apocalypse, the end? It's like reality has fractured, and we're living in the jagged edges. I'm holed up in my apartment. The world outside is. I can barely put it into words. It's unraveling, coming apart at the seams like some grotesque tapestry. I woke up this morning to my phone buzzing off the nightstand with alerts. I thought it was another emergency test. They've been happening more since the tensions overseas, you know? But this. The images on the screen, the videos of people, no, not people anymore, attacking each other. It looked like a riot at first, but there's a hunger in their eyes. It's something primal, something wrong. I can hear the city crumbling from here. There's a ceaseless wail of sirens, like a morbid chorus. I saw the Johnsons across the hall leave in a panic. Their car screeched away, and that was hours ago. Now, just the occasional gunshot in the distance breaks the silence, a silence that's too heavy, like the air before a storm. I've moved the couch, the dresser, anything I could push against the door. My hands are shaking, but they obey. Survival is a compelling taskmaster. I'm on the 3rd floor, and I've always complained about those stairs, but now I bless every flight between me and the ground. Those things, they can't navigate stairs, can they? Please, let them be that simple. My laptop's been my lifeline, pulling at threads of news from the chaos of the net. It's all fragments and speculation, but the one clear thing is that we're on our own. I've jotted down notes, made lists, where the local stores are, potential weapon caches, even started a map. Food is, well, it's food. Beans, rice, some frozen meals I can eat thawed if the power goes. Batteries, flashlights, a first aid kit I thankfully never unpacked from my last camping trip. And the water, every bottle is full, the bathtub, the sinks. If those things don't get you, dehydration will. I try to call them, Mom, Dad, Alex, even as I dial. I know the lines will be as dead as the voices on the other end. But they ring, and the voicemail clicks on. My voice doesn't sound like my own as I speak, too calm, too collected. It's a lie I tell them, a lie I tell myself. Get to Grandpa's, I say. I'll meet you there. I hope to God it's not a promise I'll have to break. I've got my old baseball bat from high school and the heaviest wrench from my toolbox. Weapons. Am I really thinking about weapons? This morning I was a graphic designer, and now, what? A survivor? A fighter? Or just another soon-to-be victim of whatever hell has been unleashed on us? I'm trying not to think about the what-ifs. What if they get in? What if I have to use these weapons? What if I'm alone in this? But the what-ifs are like the tide, relentless and eroding. I'll sleep in shifts, an hour at a time, with the news casting a flickering, unwatched glow on the walls. I'll keep the bat close, and my voice recorder closer. If there's anything worth saying, it'll be said here, to this little electronic memory. If you're hearing this, if there's someone out there in the days ahead, just know I wanted to be more than a voice in the dark. I wanted to. I have to go. I need to see what that was. This is Adrian, day 1. I'm still here. Voice log, the 2nd day of the outbreak. Last night I barely slept. Every creak inside this building set me on edge, had me clutching the bat like a lifeline. But the sun rose, somehow. It rose on a world that's forever changed. This morning, I woke up to the absence of normalcy. No alarm clock, no coffee brewing. Just silence, a thick, expectant silence. First thing I did was check the news. More of the same, chaos, speculation, and a death toll that's climbing like some grotesque scoreboard. Turned it off. I don't need a commentator to narrate the end of the world. I've made a plan. It's not much, but it's all I've got. I need supplies if I'm going to survive this, if I'm going to make it to Grandpa's cabin. So, today's mission, a supply run. The corner store down the street. I've been 100 times before, but today, it's a trek into no man's land. I've got my backpack, the one I used for hiking. It seemed ironic, filling it with what might be the last bits of civilization I'll touch. A flashlight, extra batteries, the first aid kit. I even packed that flimsy poncho from the bottom drawer. Rain or blood, I guess it won't discriminate. Before I left, I fortified the door more. Pushed the kitchen table against the bookshelf barricade. It's like setting up dominoes, knowing the slightest touch could send everything crashing down. But it's done. It won't keep them out forever, but maybe just long enough. Stepping out into the hallway was like stepping into another dimension. The once familiar carpet, now a minefield. The elevator, a death trap. I took the stairs, wincing at every echo my shoes made. Paranoia's my new best friend, and it's got a hell of a grip. The store. I made it there. It was untouched, surprisingly. Or maybe not. Maybe people fled instead of looted. I grabbed what I could. Canned food, bottled water, matches, even found a crowbar. Feels more substantial than the bat. The weight of it in my hand is comforting in a world gone mad. On the way back, I saw one. Hey, a zombie. I was quiet, but it turned its head, sniffed the air like a predator. I was still, so still, hoping my heartbeat wouldn't give me away. It shuffled off, and I let out a breath I didn't know I was holding. I've never been so scared in my life. Not of dying, but of becoming one of them. Back in my apartment, I mapped out escape routes. The fire escape, the adjacent building rooftops, maybe even the sewers. God, I sound like a character in one of those games I used to play. But this is no game. There's no Second Life on standby. I've got everything stashed away, organized. I'm ready to move at a moment's notice. This place is a fortress, my fortress, but I'm not naive enough to think it's impregnable. The world's fallen. What's a locked door to that? Tonight, I'll try to sleep again, try to dream of a world that's not burning. But dreams are a luxury, and I'm not sure I can afford them anymore. Adrian, signing off. Day 2. I'm still here. I'm still human. Voice log, the 3rd day of the outbreak. 3 days since the world went silent. No, not silent. Changed its tune. It's like the earth has become a giant whispering gallery, every sound a potential harbinger of them. I've been thinking a lot about water today. It's funny, the stuff of life, now it's like liquid gold. Spent the morning setting up a makeshift rain collector. I used that poncho from the supply run, stretched it across the open window, funneling whatever the skies are generous enough to give. I boiled some on the stove, watched the steam fog up the cold window. It's a ritual now, purification. Food's next on the docket. I took stock, made a ration plan. It's not just eating to live anymore. It's strategic. Every calorie, every vitamin, mapped out like a military campaign. I found a couple of those gardening books on my shelf. Never thought I'd be considering farming on my balcony, but here we are. Potatoes in a bucket, herbs in a jar, apocalyptic agriculture. I've been tuning into the radio, frequencies I never knew existed. Caught a broadcast, other survivors, not far, a few blocks over. They were talking about meeting up, pooling resources. Community. It's a spark of hope, but it's a spark in a powder keg. Trust is a currency that's devaluing fast. But then, so is skepticism. There's a school, an old brick fortress of a place. It could be a stronghold if things here go south. I've sketched it into my map, along with water sources, potential food stores. The city's a chessboard now, and I'm learning to play. But in this game, the pawns don't come back. I've been going over the escape routes again, refining them. There's a fire escape that leads to the roof of the next building. I tested it, quiet as a cat. The height. It's a good vantage point. I could see them, the zombies, a shuffling, relentless tide. They don't rest. They don't stop. It's like watching the ocean eat away at the shore. Tonight, I'll take the first watch with the radio crew. We've set times to check in, codes to use. It's strange finding solace in strangers' voices, but we're all clinging to the same raft in this storm. I'll keep the voice recorder on, document everything. If we make it through this, history's going to need an honest account. If we don't, then let this be a testament to our struggle, to the fact that we fought, that we didn't go quietly, that even as the darkness crept in, we reached for each other, for the light. Adrian, signing off. Day 3. I'm still breathing, still fighting, still hoping. Voice log, the 4th day of the outbreak. The rhythm of this new world is a harsh one, measured in heartbeats and hushed whispers. My muscles ache from yesterday's efforts, from tension that knots and refuses to let go. I've become a creature of vigilance, always listening, always watching. Today was about fortifying, not just the physical walls around me, but the mental ones too. I practiced with the crowbar, the weight of it in my hands a grim reminder of the necessity to defend, to survive. I swung it through the air, cutting through imaginary foes, each strike a silent promise that I won't go down easily. I found an old radio in the storage closet, dust-caked and forgotten. It crackles with life now, a small voice in the static that connects me to the others. We share tips, warnings. There's comfort in the shared voices, in the solidarity of the scared. We're a patchwork community, sewn together by necessity in the thin thread of hope. Hygiene. It's become a sacred ritual, a defense against invisible enemies. Today I set up a system for waste, makeshift but functional. I boiled water for cleaning, scrubbed until my hands were raw. The world outside is contaminated with more than just the virus. Fear, uncertainty, the specter of death, it clings to everything like a second skin. I've been keeping a close eye on my health, every cough scrutinized, every shiver analyzed. Paranoia? Perhaps. But in these times, what else is there but the vigilance that borders on obsession? My body is the only vehicle I have in this apocalypse, and I'll be damned if I don't keep the engine running as smoothly as possible. Today, I ventured to the roof for the first time since it all began. Up there, the world stretches out, a panoramic view of desolation. The skyline's broken teeth bite into a sky that's too blue, too normal. Smoke curls up in the distance, a reminder that somewhere out there, the fight's still raging. Or the feasting. I've been updating my map, marking where I've seen them congregate, tracing routes that are still clear. It's a living document, the lines and scrawls a testament to the fluidity of our new reality. I plan, I strategize, I adapt. I'm an urban survivor in a concrete jungle that's turned predator. Tonight, I'll try to sleep again, try to find rest amidst the readiness. I'll keep the crowbar close, the radio closer, and my thoughts. My thoughts I'll try to keep ordered, controlled. Fear's a virus too, in its way. It spreads, it eats away at you. But I won't let it consume me, not like those things outside. This is Adrian, signing off. Day 4. The world's gone dark, but I'm still here, a solitary sentinel in the long night. If dawn comes again, I'll be here to meet it. Voice log, the 5th day of the outbreak. It's been 5 days since the world shifted. 5 days since it became clear that the rules we lived by were written in sand, and the tides come in. Today's mission was about venturing out, beyond the familiar walls of my shelter, beyond the safety of my carefully laid traps and barricades. There's a saying, hope is not a strategy, but today, it fueled my actions more than I'd like to admit. I prepped the old mountain bike I found locked in the basement storage, less noise than a car, and it'll do until I can secure something with a motor. The tires were flat, but I managed to pump them up. The chain was rusted. I used some oil from the janitor's closet. Every action felt like a small victory, a tiny rebellion against the chaos. I scouted the surrounding blocks, pedaling through streets where I once walked without a care. Now, they are eerily deserted, yet I can feel eyes on me. Whether real or imagined, it's enough to make the hairs on my neck stand on end. I saw a few of them, the infected, their movements jerky and unnatural. I stayed out of sight, noting their patterns. They're not totally mindless. They have instincts. Supply runs are going to be the lifeline, so I mapped out the grocery stores, pharmacies, and hardware shops within a 5-mile radius. Some have been picked clean, others are untouched mausoleums of consumerism. I took what I could carry: batteries, canned goods, a bottle of multivitamins. I also found a police station. It was abandoned, or more accurately, overrun. I didn't go in, but there were squad cars outside. I checked them for keys, for anything useful. One had a half tank of gas. I marked it on the map. I'm learning that survival isn't just about hoarding supplies. It's about knowing the lay of the land, understanding the ebb and flow of this new nature. I'm adapting, becoming more than I was, more cautious, more resourceful, more alive, in a paradoxical way. The discussions with the radio community are becoming more structured. We're sharing intel, setting up a network. It's precarious but necessary. We're planning a meetup, a place where we can combine forces, share skills. The school seems like our best bet. Hygiene is becoming more challenging, but I've set up a routine. Boil water, bathe, clean clothes. It's like a mantra, a spell to ward off the infection. I'm also setting up a waste disposal system. Can't stay healthy if you're living in filth. Today, I felt more like an old-world explorer charting unknown territories. Except the unknown is a twisted version of the familiar, and monsters lurk not in the shadow of trees, but in the shadow of skyscrapers. As the sun sets, I'm back on my perch, watching the world turn a shade darker. I'm tired, but it's a good tired. It's the tired of having done something, of taking action. I'm not just surviving. I'm preparing to live, to fight, to reclaim. This is Adrian, signing off. Day 5. The world outside is a dangerous place, but it's our place, and I'll be damned if I let it go without a fight.